I got asked by a friend of mine to read a little excerpt from Dog's Chest Cows, which was my first novel in 2011 that, much to my surprise, became an Amazon bestseller, which I'm still proud of. But yeah, it's a long time ago now. But I said, okay, fair enough, I'll read a little bit. You may skip this advert in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, still available. I'll just summarise the synopsis for you and then I'll get on with the excerpt. Horatio Goodman appears beset by large decisions that make themselves around him whilst he ties his shoelaces. He's made the unlikely swap from store detective to private detective following a night on the couch. He did not realise just how much of his time would be spent sat in the van, waiting for unfaithful spouses to provide ammunition for the divorce courts. His best friend, Lambert Windle, failing at most things except attracting women, is a college lecturer in English literature and has somehow been decamped in a spare room for 2 years now. 2 years of nocturnal shuffling and bumping of bouncing bed springs and another stranger at the breakfast table. Horatio's wife, Megan, appears to take all in her stride, fixed, she says, by her therapist. Changes are coming for Horatio. Megan has warned him. He must first visit the therapist and then notes can be compared, decisions arrived upon. But just who is Caleb Pink? The shrink with a life-saving touch. Was he not the bass player in a 1970s glam rock band? Isn't he massively and hopelessly depressed? Megan floats through a world in which the three men closest to her, husband, lodger, and former therapist, look to her for reason and warmth. 2 of them would probably like to share her bed. 1 of them just wants to connect with her again. This is a story of what happens when broken people try to make some of the pieces fit together. This came out through Drugstore Books in 2011. It's edited by a great writer in his own right who also runs Drugstore called Andrew Wahlberg. Look at drugstorebooks.com if you want to know more. And it's illustrated by a fantastic Canadian artist called Eric Ulrich, and he did the cover artwork. Big shout out to Eric, top man. Okay, so the little excerpt I'm going to read you is chapter 4, and Horatio and Sherlock, as is their wont, are sat on a surveillance job in their big yellow van. I'm sitting in the yellow van. Technically, I'm working, but really I'm spying too. Sherlock sits with his head resting on the half-rolled down window pane board. I can smell him, and I can smell Sweet Lemon Crush. Not a drink, my shampoo. What is that? What is the message? What are they trying to tell us with all these consumer products that pretend to be something they are not? How can shampoo be anything to do with Sweet Lemon? What the fuck is that about? Is there an agenda? There has to be, I decide. There's always an agenda. Sherlock lifts his head, looks at me with what I imagine is a canine approximation of pity. Does he know I'm a loser? Does it make him sad to associate so much with a loser? Does it make him a loser by proxy? That would be a shame. I wonder if he fantasises about functional ownership. Somewhere in the midst of his doggy day somewhere in the midst of his doggy day, he sleeps and dreams about chasing things, eating things, screwing things, and maybe, is there really a slight chance, he dreams about an owner who is capable? I must be a shitty owner. In the pantheon of dog owners, I must be somewhere near the bottom of the list. I make Sherlock sit up all night, trapped with me in this crappy van on these ridiculous sneaky vigils. We sit waiting with my camera like a pair of perverts looking for a big show. We sit into the small hours trying to ignore each other's farts, aware of our maleness in such an enclosed space. Who the hell tastes shampoo anyway? Has anyone proven that it tastes of sweet bastard in lemons? I'm attempting to sleep. I'm thinking about a giant water slide and a bomb disposal expert who's really a former colleague that I've not seen for almost 12 years. There's a knocking, incessant and getting louder. I'm aware of it somewhere on the edge of my drowsiness. I realise it's the van window. There's a continuous thump and now it's accompanied by a speech. You bastard, wake up. I want to know who you are. Wake up. Come on, fucker. There's more, but it's in much the same vein as this example. I managed to roll the window down, just enough for communication. Who the fuck are you? You've been outside my apartment with a camera for 3 nights now. What in Christ's name were you up to? And why the dog? I look at Sherlock as if he can answer. I'm working. I tell him. The words fall out, not fully formed or confident. They ease through the window with him, skulk away to find a firmer platform from which to relaunch into existence. Working? What the hell do you do? Are you from one of those top shelf magazines? No, I'm a private investigator. Some kind of private investigator you are. You're in a yellow van. What's private about a yellow van? Jesus H, are you simple? I am awake now. I'm feeling a bit put out. Look, why don't you go back to bed and leave me to it? It's nothing to do with you. How the hell do I know it's nothing to do with me? Could be me you're taking snaps of. Is it me you're taking snaps of? No, I assure him, not really caring if he's assured or not. He starts to kick the side of the van just above the wheel arch, and I notice now that he's on the short side. Toweling cloth dressing gown, blue pyjamas and checkered slippers. He's older than me, balding and mustachioed. I decide I can take him. Feeling uber confident, I open the door and I'm squaring up to him. Why don't you stop kicking my van, arsehole? Who are you calling arsehole? I'll kick the fucking van if I want to kick the fucking van. And he does. He kicks the fucking van another 3 or 4 times, making his fucking point. I raise a fist and he's on me quicker than I can fathom. He takes me in an arm lock and throws me over his shoulder and into the side of the van. I lose my balance and fail to grip the paintwork with my back before finding myself on the asphalt. Without let up, he works his slippers into my face. I'm not sure which is less edifying, being beaten up so easily by a smaller older man or taking a quality kicking from an assailant in carpet slippers. I try to make conversation, but it seems a touch pointless. I can taste rubber and some blood. I push him to the ground with my hands in an attempt to regain my height advantage, perhaps make him reassess me as a legitimate contender. He's having none of it. It just makes him angry. He launches a knee into my temple and then resumes the tap dance on my face. Sherlock remembers he's a dog. His instinct all comes back to him and he barks from the safety of the van, all plastic aggression and false protection. Maybe he's on his side. Payback for my list of ownership shortcomings. He kicks me in the balls, adding the signature to his masterwork. I'm apologetic, even though I have no idea why. He stops suddenly, backs off as if recalling a conversation with someone or other from law enforcement or the witness protection program, and he's gone before I right myself. Aching and pathetic, I scrape myself through the van door and sit bruised and a little sad in the torn sponge-leaking seat. Sherlock eyes me nervously and decides the best course of action is to lick my ear, trying to comfort me. I have the metallic taste of blood behind my teeth and a headache is catching up with me. I decide that no one is to know. How can I share this with anyone? It would be humiliating. Where the hell did my fight go? I'm disgusted with myself. A disgrace to my generation. I've been physically bettered by a man who must be skating around retirement age and was not even equipped with appropriate fighting shoes. I'm dabbing my fingers to the corners of my mouth, feeling for swelling and loose teeth, checking the rear view for visible damage when I realise he's at the window again. What the I tried to say, but he's opened the door. Hey, I bought you some coffee. You did what? My eyes dart nervously to his slippers. I don't care much for the pattern. I felt kind of bad about the beating I just laid on you, made you some coffee. He extends a steaming mug toward me, smiling, reconciliation apparently on his mind. You fucking maniac, I offer. Hey, look, son, I understand you're a little pissed with me. Hell, I would be, going off like that. Not sure what got into me. Please, take the coffee. I want to tell him that he's not entitled to call me son. I want to tell him to ram his coffee into the nearest available opening, and I want to complain about his shit-tasting slippers. I only manage a feeble thanks and take the coffee mug out of his hands, effectively forgiving him, despite that not being my intention. Mind if I join you? Shift across. He hitches his dressing gown up to the knees. I step out and absurdly allow him to climb into the cab. Hey, nice rig you got here. He's all smiles and warm overtures. I slide back into my seat, unsure of what to expect, and with the aroma of strong coffee in my nostrils. Sorry, but would you mind fucking off? Don't be so hostile. I'm making an effort here. You're not the easiest of guys to get along with. He opens my glove compartment, helps himself to the third of a bag of half-stale cookies, white chocolate chip. He takes an exploratory sniff, a predatory bite. And if I eat one of these with the coffee? I tell him no, even though I patently do mind, still attempting to piece his motives together. Does he want to kill me? Or does he want to eat his supper and be on his way? There are always too many questions. Unable to change the facts, I reach a new plateau of acceptance. Perhaps I should just roll along with things, see how they progress. This could be one of those scenes that Megan tells me about, those episodic and unexpected gifts that come along when you're not looking, designed to somehow enrich you. Megan and the artier of her friends like to talk about enrichment and seizing the moment and the other happy accidents of fate. I give this pajamaed hitman a chance. I decide to wait and see if he's one of fate's happy accidents. Nice cookies. Thanks, I like your dressing gown. My what? Your gown. I signalled to him, clutching at the material of my t-shirt, miming appreciation, nodding at the gown. The gown. Oh, I see, thanks. Yeah. My wife thinks it makes me look a little younger. Not so sure myself. Me, I prefer something in green, but she has this thing about blue. Tell you the truth, she drives me a bit nuts with all this blue stuff. I've got blue everything. Socks, vests, you name it, it's blue. How long have you been married? 29 years, and she's expecting something big to happen when we hit 30. What are you planning? I'm not planning a damn thing. The horses have had her money. She doesn't know yet. I reckon she'd shoot me in the balls if she did. So, what are you going to do? I'm not sure yet. Someday will come to me. I admire your faith. Or I recognise and relate to his blind ineptitude. I'm a pretty resourceful person once I figure it all out. Where did you learn to fight like that? Oh, I've done some here and there over the years, you know, nothing major. I'm a little bit of a hothead at times. Don't mean nothing by it. We sit there, like this, for a few minutes, passing cookies and awaiting some action. There is no action, and the cookies are soon gone. The slightly greasy bag is dropped to the footwell and Sherlock attends to it, his tail announcing satisfaction at this human cast-off and dog treasure. So, how'd you get into this private investigator gig then? He effortlessly slips into a beatnik hipster groove with the word gig. It rolls off him in a comfortable and familiar way. He's uncluttered by the discomfort of clumsiness that some his age might betray in using such a word. It's one of those words that can be rendered vaguely ridiculous depending on the mouth of origin. You would want your grandmother, for example, to attend a gig. You would be more comfortable that she spend the time at a concert recital or even a show. Gigs, ladies and gentlemen, are not for grannies. I fill him in on the outline of my route to these circumstances. I tell him a little bit about Megan and my move across the pond and how I hit a wall in my responsible career and have since been reduced to floating in and out of mere jobs. No longer a career animal, if ever I had been one. I was at least now self-employed. He listens, says very little, but appears to understand the core of my dilemma. He throws in the odd comment and individual exclamations of encouragement or surprise. He agrees that wives seem to like the old ambition button, and that we are almost on the verge of a beautiful friendship when there interrupts another knock at my window. It is an evening for knocks to my window. I roll down the glass, and a second person, attired for sleep, lowers her face. I understand immediately that this is the woman who's expecting a big anniversary and may need to shoot her husband in the balls. Part 2 is next.